Local survivors of child sex abuse say, pass the Child Victims Act. It's time to protect children over pedophiles. Good evening, I'm Jeff Rusak. Liz is off tonight. Survivors of child sex abuse are pushing to get legislation passed that would bring reform to the state's statute of limitation laws. Supporters of the Child Victims Act say the change would allow Michael Whalen, a survivor of child sex abuse in the Buffalo Diocese, to take legal action against a priest who confessed in the Buffalo News to abusing dozens of teenage boys in the 1970s and 80s. But because of New York State's statute of limitations, the Reverend cannot face any criminal charges. It's a story the I-Team has been following from the beginning. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Christy Maria is live with more.
Jeff, there's been a recent surge of support for this Senate bill, including from Erie County District Attorney John Flynn. Now, the law would allow authorities to bring priests like Norbert Orsolitz to justice. Right now, after a survivor of child sex abuse turns 23, their statute of limitations expires, which means they're no longer able to try their attacker in court. Advocates at today's meeting said that puts time on the attacker's side and forces victims to come forward before they're ready.
When they've gone and finally come to realize, oftentimes after decades, the realization that they were abused as a child, and they go to press charges, criminal or civil charges, that the state of New York says no.
The Child Victims Act is not about gaining money. It's about protecting children, and it's about putting things in place so that survivors have time to be able to process the trauma they experience as children.
Michael Whalen, who revealed that he was a victim of sexual abuse, says he's since received calls from a tsunami of other victims. Now, a major point in today's panel meeting was to make sure people knew this act isn't just for victims of abuse by priests, but for all victims who want to come forward and bring their attackers to justice. Christy Maria, 7 Eyewitness News.